Hey guys, welcome to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve.
And my name is Pissed.
Yeah, because we were going to do another clearance review going over this Asuna that we've gotten recently from Sword Art Online by Figma. Problem is, this is not actually a Figma figure, on a sad note.
Garbage.
Yeah, we were going to do it, just kind of maybe even do a review as the bootleg after we found this out, but that seems kind of silly because this figure just really isn't all that great after we've gone over everything. So for this video, we're actually going to go over how we came to the conclusion that this is a bootleg so that you guys, if you're looking to purchase some Figma figure, especially on eBay, which is where we got this freaking thing from, get out of here. So that you guys can properly assess the figure once you get it so that you can get rid of it as soon as possible so you guys can actually be spending your money on more worthwhile action figures. Because I know personally, if I was going to be getting a Figma figure, I actually want the Figma figure. And I guess the first indicator is this, is that we actually got it for pretty cheap. Arnes picked it up for around 20 bucks, which isn't so unheard of with these figures, because sometimes I've seen them for going for a little bit lower costs. But usually the first indicator is seeing these things for a decent amount markdown, because I think she normally goes for around $60.
Yeah.
So we were just like, we'll risk it, you know. But after we got the packaging, the first thing that actually noticed of what's wrong with this figure is actually the packaging, which, getting you out of the way for a second.
Be careful, she might fall apart, Steve.
Yeah, I know, we've had that problem already.
Where's my sticky tack? I'll fix her.
No mustaches today. But for the actual packaging, the first thing that is an indicator is, especially if you didn't see the packaging, you might not really notice this, but the original seems to be a little bit of a darker tint, where this is a pretty bright orange color here for the front, while on the original one, I noticed it's a little bit more closer to a red shade. Especially on the side here, you see this picture. This is actually very, very bright pink, while on the other one, it's slightly darker than I noticed. But coming around to the back here, that you'll notice on some of the pictures here is that the picture quality on the back of this packaging is actually kind of crappy, where it has this kind of grain look to it, and the photos actually aren't actually upside down. There's actually this little bit of a gray background to it. While on your actual normal Figma pictures, well, grab me something like putting my Ryuko picture next to it, where you actually see the pictures look actually really nice, really crisp, clean, and you don't get any of this kind of like secondary kind of wash effect coming over it. So you kind of notice it for here or two where the picture just seems a little bit fuzzier than it probably should be, because this pretty much what they probably do is just laminate this over the top of the box and just copied what they had. So that's really the first major indicator that this is probably something that isn't right. Because other than that, it has like the right stampings for 178. It says Figma, even has the copyrights here on the back for everything, even has the website, everything. You think this would be a legit packaging, but it's just the pictures on the entire package are just a little bit lackluster than what you're used to seeing on these. And even on the back, if you guys just see it on the inside of here a little bit, it's actually still kind of fuzzy, even though it has all the right looks of the packaging on here. Because even looking at the back of this thing, like, it even has all the right cuttings for the, if you want to use this as the back of the display stand. But if you look a little bit, it still, again, has that kind of like grainy picture text to it, and just doesn't look quite as clean as it really should. And it has the little appropriate copyright stuffy down here. So that's pretty much it for the packaging to really notice that it's actually not really a legit figure. But getting into what actually came with the figure, she came with a Figma stand. Oh, wait a minute. She came with this actual legit normal stand, which is the first indication for me after we got everything, because I didn't really look at the box that hardcore after we got this, is that this figure is not what she's claiming to be, because initially it should come with a Figma stand. Stand should say Figma on it. Very clear indicator of what this figure is. This is definitely not what you should be seeing with this. Even the stand, the screws that they used are a little bit different. If it wasn't fuzzying up on me, you can see here that the normal Figma stand, actually the screws are a little bit dull, while on the new one, it's actually really bright and shiny, which isn't generally what Figma actually uses for these things. And even the little circles here are a little bit more hollowed out than on these stands, because these are actually meant to be a little bit sturdier, while this is definitely a little bit more of a flimsy stand. And then also another thing that this thing clearly didn't come with is her Figma bag. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't actually come with the Figma bag.
What the hell is this?
What is this rubbish? Because again, Figma figures come with the little Ziploc Figma bag, which is really awesome. Helps you remember which figure this is going to be going, because you can write the names on here, because this one's from my Ryuka Motoi.
You can still write on here, Steve.
Yeah, I guess I could still actually write on this, but this is all this figure came with, so again, major indicator that this is not a Figma action figure.
Give me this. It needs to go to trash.
And then finally, you can just kind of just look at the actual action figure and just kind of tell that the quality really isn't there for what you normally get with a Figma figure. Like, for instance, her sword, which has a lot of paint errors, and it's just a very sloppy paint job that's done over top of this, like you see here. It's not literally smooth at all. The paint on here literally looks like somebody just glued the nub on there and called it a day. Pulling out the sword. You can tell just the paint job on the sword
is amazing.
Oh yeah, totally amazing. Even the sword is literally just looks like somebody's been beating at this thing on the next to a tree, just like smacking up on the side.
Well, you know, she was using that sword a lot. So.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
get
just
it.
excessive use, I guess. It's just this sword is the most legit thing about this figure, I guess, because it's meant to be real. Like, even look at the paint job on the hilt here. It's just this very bland, flat, like purple paint going over top of this not very clean, shiny paint over top. Handle looks like shit. Not even gonna try to cover up my swearing on this video, because this thing is just utter rubbish.
Oh, don't forget this sword, the green and blue one. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, the green and blue one, which is kind of blue. That looks purple. I don't know where you get the blue.
You gotta show the box how it should be blue. It even shows it on the box.
All right, so even on the packaging here, sword supposed to be blue. I don't think we got that. pretty sure that's a little bit of a fail on the bootlegger part, but whatever. Then again, looking at the hilt here, paint job on here isn't much better. Again, not very smooth, and there's a lot of bubbles going on in the paint job here.
I don't know why you complain. That's
even a little bit of black. Oh yeah. This is definitely the quality I expect out of a Figma figure. Like this, like initially when we got it in, it's actually popped off because it wasn't, when they went to attach this to the little nub to the end of it, because this is how you get it onto her skirt, so it's sitting on the side. This was straight up crooked, and you couldn't even get it to go on, so I had to literally pop that off and re-glue it on so that you could actually attach it to the figure. Alright, and then for the rest of it. Alright, you wanna... Did you actually want to hold on to this and go over this? I'll let you fudge.
No.
Talk about how crappy.
It's okay. If I get a hold of that, it will be in pieces.
Oh, where's the hands and everything?
Oh wait, where's my Figma bag where I hold all the hands?
No, where's that Figma bag?
Swear to God, if I get hold of this thing, I'm gonna run it over with my car.
Yeah. Even looking over.
Focus.
Even looking over some of the hands on here, the hands actually don't really look all that bad, especially when you have them sitting on here. There's a little bit of slashes, and like that hand's actually missing a decent amount of paint on it. And then she came with some faces, which I guess I could show those to you guys too real quick. She came with her puffy face, which doesn't have quite as much of the details that it should have had, because you really should be able to see her little slashes on her face that show off embarrassment, which you don't really see very well on here. Overall, it doesn't really look all that bad, but it's not as clean as it should be looking.
Steve, the more you talk about this, the more I want to destroy this.
And then the same with this face, which has that same kind of puffy look that we have literally seen on the other face. Like, looks like she's holding some like nuts in her mouth or something. Like, it's just not quite accurate to what you should be getting. Again, a lot of excess plastic on here and stuff, something that you shouldn't really be seeing a lot of these Figma figures. And then coming over to her, paint job on here is definitely a little bit lackluster as well. You'll see here that the chest is definitely the paint job for her breastplate here. Really didn't come out very clean. Doesn't look very good. These things actually were popping out initially when I got them in, and I had to actually put them back in, which is a bit of a nuisance. And then you can look at these hideous arms that she has with these ball joints here. Because we were like, initially when we got this out of the package, we're like, man,
that's
they really
horrible.
They dropped the ball on these old Figma figures, I guess, didn't they? But nope, that's just straight up not even supposed to be remotely what it's supposed to look like.
I'm sorry, Figma. I didn't mean to do you like that.
We didn't mean to offend you. And then coming down to her skirt, you notice there's a lot more missing paint here. Like, this was literally somebody just daubed the brush over top of it, called it a day. Coming along the back here, you'll notice that there's a lot of imperfection in the skirt, which it's not like this figure's really be sitting on a shelf or anything. Like, this legitimately came out of the packaging like that. Just looks hideous. Also, why the hell is the stand underneath her head? I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be on the official one, but that is an annoying spot for that stand. And then the slot here is actually too tiny to actually fit these swords in, which is the main reason why that one popped off to begin with. So I can't even really show you that effectively how to actually put the sword into the hilt there. Coming down her legs here. Again, you know there's a lot of missing paint here on her thighs here for her knee highs. Knee joints look hideous. Something you should really be seeing on a Figma figure. Same with the boots. Like, just the paint job on here is just... It's very flat, not even smooth, and everything's just kind of raising, lifting up, and bubbling. And again, it's just not something you should be seeing on these Figma figures, because every Figma I've ever messed with, the paint job is clean, everything looks nice, nothing feels like it's going to be breezing off as I put in my thumb over top of it. But on this chick, it's just everything and everything just kind of messed up. Like, we even had to, just so we could keep the hair on her head, actually had to put some sticky tack in there just to, so that when we were showing off this figure that it wasn't just going to be like, hey, how's it going, everybody? Because that literally is not sized to actually fit inside of there either. Like, the hair back here pops off really easy because none of this actually sticks in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, mom's calling. Like, it's just very, very poor attention to detail in this entire thing. And even, like, the articulation on this thing, too, is just stupid, wonky. Don't even really enjoy trying to move this thing around, especially the hand
Does her
joints.
arm look like it popped out of socket? Look at that.
Yeah, like, it just literally looks like it's dislocated and not something you should be seeing on these figures. And it's just, again, just, it's not the quality that you should be seeing in a lot of your Figmas. So,
Hey, Steve, I found another one for $9. Look, Sword Art Online Kirito Figma figure.
Say what? Crazy! Man, we're just... that's our next purchase, I guess, because we just love these bootlegs so much, you know? Oh, I hate my life. So again, when you get this figure out of the package, just make sure to check over the little minor details, which aren't very minor in this figure, because there's so much you can tell that isn't legit about this figure, especially with the really bad paint job. Should have came with a Figma bag. This figure didn't. Figma stand should actually have the Figma label on it. There's just so many red flags on this figure actually not being what it's supposed to be. And it's the stuff that you guys should really be looking for, especially when you're getting from an unknown vendor on eBay or someplace you really don't know what you're going in for. And you see that it's a good price. I would really just make sure to read the description thoroughly, because even on some of them, like when we double checked on this one after we found out this was actually a bootleg, it still was stating that this was actually a Figma figure, even though later on it was like, oh, the pictures are just there for reference. It's a Figma figure, but the pictures might not be right. It's
Wait. Let me
a little bit of a...
It says. It says, the images are for references only. You may not get what it says or shows in a picture.
Even though they're telling you that they're selling you a Figma action figure.
Oh, but the item name is Sword Art Online figure. Figma.
Yeah, they're telling you it's a Figma figure, but then later in the little descriptions they tell you that, oh, the pictures might not be quite right for what you're getting. No shit, Sherlock. As I never know, we actually didn't go over this part as well because completely actually forgot about it. Because getting one of the swords out, it doesn't actually really go in there that well. Like, that's about as far as it goes in. You can get it in more, but it doesn't line up because the plate casing doesn't really fit in here appropriately. Again, clear errors that something is amiss with this action figure, because this thing doesn't even work very well for this. And if you guys want, on Facebook, I'll actually post some pictures of this down in the description below if you guys want to actually check out some more pictures of this figure, just so that if you guys are looking for references of maybe somebody's trying to sell a used version of this, or a figure like this, you can use this as a reference. Hope this video helps you guys out, because really don't want you guys to be getting bad Figma figures from people that aren't very trustworthy on the internet. Again, just make sure packaging should be very clean and crisp, because initially the packaging is meant to try to be selling you the action figure, so the images look kind of not very high quality on the packaging. Generally means it's probably something wrong with that. And I know, especially if you're ordering on the internet, they're not going to actually show you the packaging. They're probably going to show you the actual legit Figma figures. So when you guys get it in, just try to look over the packaging, make sure it seems legit. And then you actually open the package, make sure that the figure just looks very clean, paint job looks good, make sure all the accessories have very nice paint jobs and don't look bubbly and somebody's been chewing on them, because that's generally wrong. Same with the figure, should have a nice clean paint job. Now that should be bubbly, paint should feel like it's going to be flaking off any second now. Stand, should definitely say that has Figma on it. Sans is a Figma. Again, something that's going to be wrong about.
Like that.
Definitely be like that. Make sure it comes with an actual Figma bag and not this thing. Definitely wrong again. So hopefully, in the end, with a bunch of our rambling on about this crappy little figure here, hopefully it helps you guys in the long run. This has been Steve.
And yay, Arnes.
And hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye. I got a complaint, Steve. I'm missing my Figma bag out of this box. Unacceptable.